Hi guys. We are in week 6. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here is your video for week 6. This week we're actually not going to be covering any chapters. We're going to be focusing on our group meetings, mostly for the most part, and then getting lab 3 completed and submitted. So I'm going to go through that in just a second. But since we're not covering any chapters, this is also a good time for you guys to go back and review previous chapters and kind of have that solidified in your mind so that you feel confident with moving forward to our projects. Because this is the point in the semester where we're really going to start gearing towards conducting our research projects. So you want to make sure that you've had time to absorb all of the information that you got out of chapters 1 through 5, especially chapter 3. So please take some time to go back and just kind of review anything that you feel like you need to, since we aren't really covering anything super new this week. Okay, so let's take a look at week 6, APA style. Jump to that module and take a look at our first page, which again is our assignments and due dates. Okay, so this week, you guys should have solidified your groups by this point. If you haven't, you really have to get that done no later than Tuesday. So tomorrow, really. I need to receive an email from one of your group members letting me know who your group is. I need your names and your email addresses. Um, and I really need this email no later than Tuesday, which technically would be tomorrow at 12 noon. If you need help getting into a research group, check out the discussions, this research group discussion. This has been available for quite some time. Many of you have made great use of it. I see you guys interacting with each other and, getting information about each other. If you are not in a group yet, you really have to get this done. So please make sure you have your group solidified, and please make sure I'm getting that email from you. I've only received a couple of emails, so please make sure that I'm getting an email from your group no later than Tuesday, 12 p.m. noon. The second thing you need to do by Tuesday at 12 p.m. noon is sign up for your meeting with me. So you're going to see a link to a sign up sheet from this page. Just click on that, and that's going to show you what times are available for you to meet with me. So we're going to be meeting on Wednesday and Thursday of this week, which is why I need you to sign up by Tuesday so I can make sure that I am getting those links out to you and coordinating my time appropriately. And these are your options. These are the times that we can meet. So on Wednesday, and Thursday, you can choose any of these half-hour time slots. Okay, so we've got 4 time slots in the morning and then 4 time slots in the evening. So I really wanted to try and accommodate everybody. I know we all have different working schedules and we all have different, life schedules. And these are the times where I have availability because, my life is definitely very hectic. But I wanted to give enough options. You can see we've got like 16 different time slots available. And since you guys are working in groups of 5, we should only have about 5 or 6 groups total. So out of these 16, hopefully you can find somewhere in these time slots that work for you. So, coordinate with your group, find a time slot that works best for you, and then you just click in the box and type in your group name. Okay. Please make sure you are doing this by Tuesday, again, technically tomorrow, 12 p.m., so that we all have time to coordinate and get that meeting scheduled. And then we're going to meet. I'm going to talk a little bit more about what we'll do when we're meeting after I finish up regarding signups. So a couple of things to keep in mind is this is first come, first serve sign up. So you, if I were you, I would be checking this out as soon as possible and signing up as soon as possible. Coordinate with your groups, reach out to each other and say, hey, did you see the sign up sheet? Sorry. What time do you guys want to meet with Professor Sabat? And then also please remember that this is an editable document. So it is very possible for you to go and put your group's name in there and then for somebody else to go in and change that. Please don't do that. That's just obviously very not cool. But because that is a possibility, I want you guys to, as soon as you have signed up for a time slot, please email me as well. So email me saying, hey, I just signed up for, or my group just signed up for this time slot. I'm just emailing you to confirm that we would like to meet with you on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Okay. So sign up, send me an email, and then again, please don't delete another group's name if you find their name when you want to meet. Like if it's really that complicated, just send me an email and we'll see if we can work out another time. Okay, and then once you guys have signed up, then and emailed me, then I'm going to send those links out to you for the meetings. Okay, so during the meetings, essentially what we're going to be doing is just kind of discussing your ideas for your project. You have Lab 3, which I went over last week and kind of explained what I'm expecting there. You have that due this upcoming Sunday. So I wanted to meet on Wednesday or Thursday, so that gives you the weekend to really kind of solidify Lab 3. And I'm not expecting you to come to the meeting with like a complete total idea of what it is, but just have some ideas of what you think you want to study and what you would like to look at in terms of your research project. I'm going to go over a couple more documents today in this video that I think will also help you solidify that idea so that when we do meet, you've got at least a couple of ideas of what you would like to do your project on. And then as we discuss it, hopefully our discussion will help, fully solidify that for you. So also remember that with Lab 3, you have to submit this group project contract. So I'm going to click on this really quickly just to take you there as a reminder. I believe I went over this last week as well, but this group project contract is really just letting me know, again, who are your group members' first and last names. Tell me a little bit about yourselves. How did you get to know each other? What are some things you have in common? What are some common times that you guys are going to be meeting with each other? And this is for you as well. So this is not just informing me, but this is letting each other know, like, okay, we're agreeing that we're going to meet like every Thursday at 5 p.m. or whatever works for you. And then breakdown of the work. So again, who's responsible for what? Who's going to be kind of taking the lead? One thing I don't think I clarified in my last video was that this assignment here, like assigning who's going to hold primary responsibility, doesn't mean that that one individual is solely responsible for writing the introduction or writing the methods section, writing the results, etc. You all should be contributing to every one of these sections. If only one of you writes the introduction, for example, and all of your names are on this project, that's technically plagiarism. Okay. So if you did not contribute to that section of that paper, then you should theoretically not be putting your name on the paper. So please make sure that you are working together on each of these sections. You should have a lead, and what that means is that person is responsible for making sure like everybody is contributing, but everybody should be contributing. It's not just that one person writing that part. Okay, so make sure that that is submitted with Lab 3, and that is due Sunday. by 11:59 p.m. And then the last thing is to start taking a look at Lab 4. So this is conducting a literature search. So Lab 4 is going to be, I would say, take a look at it, but don't start it until you have your meeting with me, until after you have your meeting with me and you've kind of solidified your idea of what you want to do your project on. Once you have that, then you're going to start looking for some resources. Okay, so this is conducting what we call a literature search. And a literature search is what we do in order to write the literature review portion of our paper. And I'm going to go into that, I think next week, if not the week after, to give you a better understanding of what that is. But the literature review is essentially taking a look at the current literature that already exists that is on the topic of your paper or your project, and kind of where you're drawing your ideas from, where you're drawing your motivation to do the project that you're going to do the research you're going to do, where you're drawing your hypotheses from as far as what you expect to find in your research. This is all the consequence of doing a literature review, seeing what's already out there. Okay, so this lab is just getting you started on looking for those articles. Okay, so you and your group mates, each of your group mates should find at least 2 relevant research articles about your topic. So each group member, this is not 2 articles for the whole group. This is 2 articles per group member. And remember, these should be scholarly peer-reviewed articles, and they should be primary sources. All right. Also, for a good literature review, we want sources that are no more than 10 years old. Okay. In any research article that you read, any current academic research article, you're not going to really see many sources that are more than 10 years old. So make sure that you are setting your limiters when you're doing your searches for those requirements. So refer back to Lab 1. This is what we were doing in Lab 1 to kind of develop those skills. And then make sure you are refining your search again to peer-reviewed journal articles published within the last 10 years. And then choose a database and search for articles on your topic. Okay. Then once you have the appropriate number of articles to sift through, and remember, that's about 10 to 15 articles. We shouldn't be sifting through like hundreds of articles. We should be able to refine our search well enough to get us narrowed down to really no more than 10 to 15. Then start the screening process. Okay. So the screening process is essentially read the abstracts, go through the abstracts, and try to identify if this is an article that's relevant to your topic. And if it is, then select that as being one of the 2 that you're going to save. And then once you've found 2 that you feel like, okay, these are the 2 that are really like the best and the most relevant, save those and share them with your group mates so everyone has access to the articles. So make sure you save those articles because we're going to use those in your literature review. Okay. And then make sure that you are discussing the articles that you've selected with your group mates to make sure everybody's on the same page about your topic. Okay. All right. So once you've found those articles, so 2 articles per group member, in a separate Word document, one of you, so this is a group lab now, one of you is going to submit your responses. So work together on this. Again, all of you contribute to it, but just one document is going to be uploaded. You choose who that's going to be and just let me know. But make sure we're answering these questions. Okay. So really brief questions. What's your topic for your research project? Which database did you search? Which terms did you search? What limiters did you set? Again, peer-reviewed, date ranges, etc. Did you have to revise or edit your search? Like, give me details about if you revised it, I feel like, oh, okay, these search terms didn't really work. How did you change your search terms? What did you decide to search instead, to show me kind of where your like mindset was when you were doing these searches. And then how many records did you find in your final searches? And then briefly, in 3 to 4 sentences, explain why you chose each of the abstracts that you chose. What does it specifically have to do with the topic? Why is this specific abstract of interest to you? How does it relate? And make sure that you're clear and detailed. So again, I can really see how you're thinking that this article relates to your topic, and can support you in that or give you some constructive feedback about that. I need to see kind of how you're thinking this relates to your topic to confirm that you are on the right track. Okay. And then upload your document to this page and submit your lab. Okay. So keep in mind, this is available now, but it's not due until March 7th. Okay. So you have 2 weeks to get this done. I just wanted to introduce it to you so you have an understanding of what is expected in this assignment. Okay. Going back to our weekly assignments. Okay, so that's basically it as far as like things you really have to do and have to turn in. But I do want to go through the rest of the module really quickly because we've got some documents that are really useful that are available to you now. So the first one is a paper on how to write in APA style. Now, what's great about this is an APA formatted paper already. Okay, so this is already in APA format. The font size is correct, your margins are correct. It has, your headers already formatted. So you've got your running head, title page, etc., already formatted. And then this is about how to write one of these papers. Okay, so it goes in detail about your abstract, and then talks about how to write like a researcher, gives you kind of information about the introduction, method section, etc. Use this as like a skeleton for your paper. And this is kind of a narrowed down version of what you guys have access to in your textbook as well. The textbook it's a lot of information. It can be overwhelming. So I wanted to give you another document that kind of narrows down what we're looking for in terms of writing this research paper. Okay. So this project is conducting the research and then writing your paper to report your findings. The other way you're going to report your findings is through your poster. Okay. So I'm going to skip over informed consent. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute, but I want to show you some examples of posters. Okay, this is kind of the second part of how you're going to be reporting your research findings. So I've listed a bunch of posters here. What I want you to keep in mind when you're looking at these sample posters is the structure. Okay, don't get too into the actual study itself, because you're going to find that a lot of these posters are actually really reporting projects that are more detailed than what I'm expecting you guys to do. So I don't want you to open this and be like, oh my God, what on earth is this study? This is super complicated, because I'm not going to be expecting the same structure from you, but as far as the study itself is concerned. But what I do want to see is that your poster is following this format. I guess that's a better way to describe it. So for example, let's take a look at this poster. So Professor Race study. So I recommend that you download them. You can view them in the viewfinder, but they're really big. Okay. So I would say don't open them in the viewfinder, just download them and open them as a PDF document. Okay, so we have this kind of poster, basically. If you've been to any psychology conference, this is what you see in the poster presentations. It's just an overview of the study that gives us a general idea of, what was the study about, what was the method that was used, what were the results, and then our general discussion, and then we have our references listed. So you can see in this study, they were interested in how the race of a professor would influence students' ratings of that professor, right? So they give us a little bit of an introduction based on like how students choose to take classes. I know a lot of students, will go to ratemyprofessor.com or, talk to other classmates and ask about the instructor. But this study was interested particularly in like, would the race of the professor play a role in how they perceived the professor? And then they talk about their method, how did they conduct this study? What did they do? What was their, operational definition? How did they take perception of race and turn that into something that could be measured, right? So they talk about that in their method section, and then they talk about their results. In their results, they talk about the statistics that they used and what their statistical results were, and then they discuss their findings in the final portion. Again, I don't want you to get too into the whole like what was the study, how exactly did they do it, what did they find. That's not what these posters are here for, because again, these studies are generally a little more complicated than I'm going to be expecting you guys to do. As you'll see, a lot of them were done through Psi Beta, which is an honors psychology program. So these aren't even for a basic research methods class. This is for an honors program. But the format is what I want you to pay attention to, okay? Generally, students will use PowerPoint to create these posters, but as we get closer to the end of the semester, when we start creating these, I'm going to go through that with you as well. But I do want you to start getting an idea of how you're going to be reporting your findings, okay? So you're going to be reporting your findings in a paper format and in a poster format. Okay. Let's go back to, sorry, I'm jumping all over here. Let's go back to informed consent. This is another document that you want to kind of familiarize yourself with, if it lets me. Okay. Because this is something that we're going to be including in our studies. In any study that you conduct, you always have to let your participants know what to expect in participating in this research. So this is giving them information so they are informed in order to be able to give their consent to participate. So I know that this study is going to require this and this and this. It's going to take me about 45 to 60 minutes to complete this survey. And with all of that knowledge, I am consenting to participate in it. Okay, so take some time to read through this. You guys are going to have to draft an informed consent for your project. And this is a really great sample for you to take a look at. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's it for this week. We're really going to dig a lot deeper when we get into our meetings. So sign up, guys. Get that time slot that you want. And if you're not in a group, please make sure you get into a group. Again, you really should be at this point. And then as soon as you have your group formed, please make sure you're emailing me. Let me know who you are so I can get everything set up for you guys. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here and available. And I'm excited to finally get to meet with you guys, get to see your faces and interact and get started with these projects. This is the exciting part of the semester for me. Okay. All right. So any questions you have, please reach out. Otherwise, I will see you on Wednesday or Thursday. Okay.